If you are here, you are with Wolf Driver, started by Bill Hillman with his passion towards Huskies since an early age. Husky dogs are different than most other dogs and need more physical activity. So Wolf Driver started to do adventures since 1996 and traveled over 100,000 miles across the east coast of the USA with his own sophisticated battery-powered cart with 4 Huskies who love to adventure with him. Recorded with sophisticated cameras, let's watch the new adventure now.
That's where I'm going to.
Okay, folks. Jimmy, you ready for the 2?
Ready, please.
Stay. Might want to back up a little bit, bud, so I can get access.
Broadcast coming up about
You got big boy?
Yeah.
Eastern, 7 Pacific. We'll hear it. This is special.
Boy. Hey. No, low. Good girl. Nobody's gonna forget you. Stay. Good girl. Stay. Good girl. Okay, come on, good girl. I love this song. You know what song this is, Chris? Oh.
Wolf Driver.
That's a naturally. Yeah, man. It's okay, good girl. You're the best. Okay, last but not least, who could forget the Jagster? Okay, come on, Jack. Free. Easy body. You're the best, Jaggy. Okay, bud. Should I go around the big rock
Wolf
there?
Driver.
Yep. Oh, hang on, boys. Okay, hang tight. Okay, we ready?
Chalk out, tell me when.
You can take it, bud. Did you put my headlight on? You did. Yep. Yep. Good?
Wolf Driver.
See the headlight where it's mounted? I like to put on the front. Uh-oh. So, how my back dogs? Come on, Chase. Good?
Go ahead, you start.
Whoa, look at that. Jeez. I just bent it.
Wolf Driver.
Is it good? Why you think? It needs to be tight. Should we wait for you or it's fine for the trip? You know me.
Good luck, boys.
Thanks, bud.
You got the satellite thing in the back.
I don't know how to use it, but minor details. Jimmy, you in?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Okay, thank you. Dogs look good, Jim? Ooh, this thing's running good. I can feel it.
Wolf Driver.
Okay. Got water in bowls, Jim? Oh, thanks, man. This says danger, fallen rock, Jimmy.
Wolf driver.
How's my boy in the back running?
Good.
Wolf driver.
Oh, it's beautiful, Jim. Boy in the back's good?
I can't tell you.
Oh.
You need to tell me.
No, I'm good. How's he doing in the back?
He's doing great.
I got motor and everything. I don't need. They needed to get out, bud.
Yeah, menu.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Well, it's just part of the game.
Wolf driver.
That is just beautiful next to us, Jim.
Wolf driver.
Yeah, this is above where we were last time.
I'd like to get a picture of this if I could. Ho, guys.
Vertical one?
Yep. Get a quick picture here, Jimmy. Beautiful. That was good. Good. Yep. Tell me when you're ready, bud.
Ready to go.
Come on, guys. Hike.
Wolf driver.
Come on, Zara. I think something's rubbing back there. Yeah. Take your time. I got the bike. All good, buddy. Thanks, bud. Good thing we fixed it. Ready?
What's in that bag?
Oh, we're going right on the cliffs, dude. Oh,
Wolf driver.
so this is dam 5. We were here.
Well, I remember we started on 99. We were sent down on 92.
You tell me when you're ready, Jim.
Yeah,
Sorry, bud.
and put my feet in it.
No problem.
We're ready.
Good? You got him in there?
Yeah, we're ready.
Come on, guys, hike. Just guide me, Jim. Thanks, bud. I appreciate it.
Wolf driver.
Beautiful. Come on, guys. Jim, I got to get a picture. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't say that. You
Oh, guys.
beautiful night. All right. Beautiful.
Let's see if I can
Boy,
get
that
this one.
car's pretty big.
Isn't it beautiful? I just don't want to slip back too much, buddy.
Wouldn't have fallen one of the bad
Chase, Chase.
Wolf driver.
Let's see where you can see it. I think you can see it there.
maybe behind us.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the best shot. Oh, my gosh. Everything good, Jimmy?
Good, but be careful.
Yep. It's pretty wide, but still, you can tell me. Ready, guys? Break off. Come on, guys. Hike. He just looked at the glimpse. It told me. He got it. Yeah, man.
Everything's good, man.
Wolf
It's rubbing
driver.
again. Really? Oh, guys.
Sounds like the wheel.
Is it something we should get out and look at, or don't worry? That's all dog right now, Jim.
Wolf
Oh, it
driver.
is? Yeah. I think I just passed a mile marker.
Wolf driver.
What a great evening. Dogs are running great. Dogs have been on a little bit of a sabbatical. We've been doing some light exercise, just neighborhood stuff, which is always good, but it's not the same as our rigorous adventures like this. And part of the reason is we're probably getting ready to move into a new home. All of us, of course, my wife and all the dogs, the fish, and everybody else that lives with us. Should be really nice, and it's actually going to be even more designed for the dogs than where I live now.
Wolf driver.
Easy, guys. Oh, guys, I'm gonna take a picture, Jim. Oh, guys. See if I see anything rubbing too, bud. It is. I think you're right. That's a bearing.
It sounds like the spokes.
They're tight. You think that wheel's gonna be okay, bud?
We don't go with much maintenance. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Wolf driver.
Break off.
Good, breaks off.
Come on, guys. We fix it when we get to the trail, buddy. It's Wolf Driver.
Under the program.
You've been on this trip before. I think this goes to the left. Yep. Thanks, buddy.
Bill here, buddy.
Yep.
Wolf driver.
So as I was saying, the dogs are going to get a nice little change in pace. Not really pace, but yeah, I'm on the break. How's the boy in the back doing? The girl on the left, she's good too. Everybody's, yeah, I'm just keeping them paced evenly. So this is where we hit high speeds when the dogs think they picked up on a scent, and I'm sure they did. Possibility is they just saw something move, a shadow in the dark, whatever, and or something crossed the trail that they smelled the scent of. Could have even ran ahead of us. We've had small animals just keep running on the trail, rabbits especially. They're not always the brightest bulbs in the circuit. And we've been on this trail and on lots of trails, and the rabbits don't realize, go to the right or left, don't stay straight. And they stay straight. Of course, we've come close to catching them. Now rabbits are really quick. But because of like the deer in the headlight syndrome, they see this thing, the wolf driver dog power go-kart. They're like, what the world is that? I don't know if they're just hanging around for the show or they're just in awe. But sometimes they stay a little too long, and dogs have come close to actually grabbing them, but of course I put the brakes onto that. I don't mind a little bit of them picking up a sprint, but of course I don't ever want them catching any wild animals. Sometimes it can't be helped when we free range, but when they're tethered to the bike, of course, that never happens. So it's a beautiful night, and this is what the dogs live for, getting out, enjoying the cooler weather when they can, and exercising. Of course, my youngest one, Lola, is really into it because this is a newfound life for her. She's a rescue, and she didn't get to run where she was at, of course, before. At least as much as we know about her. And I'm showing her that she can sow her wild oats with the wolf driver and her wolf pack. Her new family members being Raro, Chase, and Jag, and Gigi at home. But Gigi's not really gonna make it out to these more adventurous times with us. But she does adventure some with us. She has in the past, not with Lola yet. And not because Lola's too new, just because we haven't had a chance. But we had another Chinese crested, you can go back in the Wolf Driver archives and see, who joined us on some Wolf Driver adventures like this. What I call Wolf Driver on Tour or Wolf Driver Midnight Mushing. Some of that was because my wife was out of town. Now, Lulu is our first crested. Oh yeah, that is a boat. Hope he don't turn his brights on us, Jim. So, Lulu was a Chinese crested that we had for about 10 years. And my wife is more of a smaller dog, takes care of them. So, of course, they're all our family. But what happens is when my wife can't take care of Lulu, if she's going out of town or something, it's my turn to watch her. I'm almost always in town. I'm not traveling with the dog, so if I do an adventure, which I did when she's out of town, Lulu comes with us, and so would Gigi. That's how it works in the Wolf Driver household. So I'm using the spinning camera tonight, and it's giving you some awesome views of the Potomac River and the Bat Mushmobile, which we're on tonight. And of course the dogs and myself and my co-pilot Jimmy and Crispy when we set up and when we end our run. Just absolutely beautiful out here, folks. If I could tell you how cool this is and the feeling we get just letting the dogs do their stuff. Whoa, you see that bat? He buzzed me. It is such a good feeling to let them enjoy their life. This running for them is so healthy, and it's not only physically stimulating to them, it's psychologically stimulating to them. I thought something came under my wheel. I guess it was just some leaves. The dogs didn't move. So it's very entertaining to them, for lack of a better description. And it really helps them in a multitude of ways. When I say psychologically enhancing or entertaining, both, it means that they're prey driven. So they pick up on a scent and they can run with the bike. They get the feeling of teamwork when they're working together like this. And of course their endorphins release, which helps their mind. It tires them out. On the physical side, it
Wolf Driver.
causes them to have a lot of bathroom breaks, which is very healthy for them. And you'd be surprised. Chase has a high metabolism, and it's hard to keep weight on Chase. So, believe it or not, he is very active at home, but if we don't do an adventure for a few days, he actually doesn't use the bathroom as much. I mean, you can measure it with him, because he'll actually fast himself. He won't eat sometimes. Just a day or so he'll skip, because he didn't exercise, he didn't burn up what was in him, and he didn't empty his gut, basically. So, sorry to be a little bit crude there, but that's what happens.
Wolf Driver.
Mile marker, Jim. Yeah, I couldn't read it. I don't know what it was. Yep. I got my watch on. We got a mile and a half in. So I usually wear kind of like a pedometer watch. So just like a Fitbit, basically. Tell us how much we've gone. The bikes, because these bikes are so specialized and I use funky sized tires, you can put a speedometer on it, but it's really hard to keep it calibrated, we found. So I kind of gave up on that notion and just wear a really high-end Fitbit style watch. This is a Fitbit, actually, I'm wearing today.
Wolf
And
Driver.
it will, by GPS, let me know the miles we've gone. By the way, you may see the camera switching colors. The camera you're looking at now, it's all working on infrared light. So it works on all kinds of lights, but the infrared is sensitive to. Most cameras have infrared filters to avoid infrared because it can dynamically change a view. And a lot of times cameras are mostly used during the day. And during the day, this will look pink. An infrared camera will usually look pink. So this is infrared, but it's also, there's a lot of other ambient lights because you're getting the dog harnesses that light up. But that Mushmobile, this is the dog powered go-kart we're on tonight, that lights up underneath. It's some real cool special effects lighting. So you'll see a myriad of colors. It'll look kind of cool, almost like a infrared rainbow, I call it, where you'll get some blue, purple, pink hues. And you'll get some other colors mingling in there, but predominantly blue as you're getting now, and then meanders into the purple, and then into the pinks. Kind of beautiful. I'm probably the only one out there doing something like this. I know, obviously, other people use infrared cameras, but not in the capacity I'm doing it. To run dogs and document is what I'm saying. We have bright headlights with us. We used to, if you're part of the old Wolf Driver fan club, we used to run strictly with infrared, and we were kind of invisible to the naked eye because the human's eye can't see infrared light. I believe animals can see infrared. They can see different light spectrums that the human eye can't. That's what enables them to see in the dark. Interesting. I've got a lot of information on all my websites. By the way, if you ever want to search Wolf Driver and what I do, just put Wolf Driver and any word you can think of next to it. If you put Wolf Driver cameras, you'll get a lot of cameras that I own, reviews on them, and different YouTube videos I've made using different cameras, different pictures from Flickr that I've used, that I've taken using different cameras. and a myriad of things, reviews I've done for Best Buy, B&H, Amazon, whatever, because I've probably got as much camera equipment as any studio, any small studio. If you put Wolf Driver music, you know I've written literally hundreds of songs, and I've had artists perform them for me, from rap to hip-hop to rock and roll, classic style, disco, everything I grew up with. You could put Wolf Driver, Dog Adventure, Wolf Driver,
Wolf Driver.
Infrared. Pretty much you can put Wolf Driver anything. And you'll get something I've done, or something close to it, believe me. Wolf Driver plants, all the plant life I've observed out here on the trail. Wolf Driver bears we've seen. I mean, kind of really neat. I mean, Google actually fascinates me, because all the stuff I've done over the years, because I have so many websites, because I just like documenting it. Not really to make money. There's some ads on it, but it's mostly to document what I do and share it with everyone and inspire people. But it's really cool because Google essentially has become my search engine, even for me. If I say, have I been to that trail before? Because, you know, we do travel up and down the East Coast, mostly in the Mid-Atlantic region, but we've gone to some pretty far points up north and south of us. I mean, hundreds of miles, probably over 1,000 miles in any direction. But I want to know sometimes, have we done this trail? Because I'm always trying to find trails we haven't done. And I'll put the trail name next to Wolf Driver. And if I've done it, usually it'll come back with a hit of if I've written an article about the trail I did, or if I've got pictures or videos, which we usually document. So it's kind of really cool. And I've been written up in Susquehanna magazine for a lot of these dog adventures and the trails I've done in Virginia.
Wolf
They were
Driver.
pretty fascinated with it, and they wanted me to review some trails basically for them, some of my favorite ones in the PA area. And it's kind of cool because I was on one of the trails after that write-up on me, that article, and the people said to me, hey, we just read an article, you're the Wolf Driver, right? It was so cool. Oh, guys. Hike. Really neat. Yeah, man. Got a bike ride or somebody, a light coming at me. Just went off. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign.
Wolf Driver.
I don't know what it is. What's that, Jim?
I think this is a lock. It might be a lock.
It might be a road. I don't know what this is. Little eerie here, but we'll see how this pans out. I don't know where that light came from. Yeah, come on, guys, hike. Come on, guys, hike. Maybe it was that house, Jim. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, you just don't know. We're kind of out here. We've been on this trail before, but this trail's almost 200 miles long. So we don't know every part of it. We can't remember. We just don't know what we're going to come up on. And that's why midnight mushing is extra exciting. And that's how it turned into werewolves, where we do our ghost hunting, because we've seen some pretty strange things, unexplained things, if you will. People are one thing, but when you start getting voices without somebody there, come on, guys, hike. You start wandering. I think I just heard something from that house. So there, tread lightly here.
Wolf Driver.
Bike, don't fail me now. No, so seriously, we are paranormal believers here, and we've actually taken paranormal experts with us, and we work with one pretty closely, Curtis. You might have seen him in my werewolves and Wolf Driver videos. Come on, guys. What's that, Hill? Come on, guys. Hike. Interesting. Hey, I'm going to stop and we'll give him some water, Jim. Right in front here, I'll get a picture.
Wolf driver.
Easy, guys. Oh.
Make sure you're walking around here.
Yep, we got a chalk. Ooh, this light was getting bugs when I stopped, Jim. Yeah.
It's tough. How much is that though? You in the wind.
Sorry, buddy, I got you crammed in back there, don't I?
You gotta be careful. Not feeling it well.
No. What? I ain't worried about you, just the dogs. Jimmy knows. Ooh, what's this? Oh, right there, Jim. Look at that. You see
Wolf
this?
driver.
If I don't come out, call the cavalry. You got the bike, bud? Okay, so on a little adventure here, exploring what looks to be some sort of old part of I don't know, the canal structure. Anybody out here? Interesting. Building there.
Wolf driver.
Dogs are with us. I just happened to look to my left. I'm like, what is that? And you know this was built in the late 1700s, early 1800s. Dogs are catching up on some water. Whoa, geez, almost fell into that. Yeah, I see it. It's a canal here. This might be the end of the road for me if I can fall into that. Building over there, who knows what that's about. Turn the light on. Showing you the Batmushmobile. A little eerie here. And the light went off as we approached here, so who knows what that means. Stay tuned.
Wolf driver.
It's weird, that building there. I never noticed that one before, Jim. Right here, too, behind you. No, this one.
I never noticed it either. I don't know how many times you've been here.
It's hard to tell. You know, this thing's 200 miles
Wolf
long.
driver.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the difference.
It takes on a different look at night. He wants you to hold it, Jimmy. Okay, Mr. Jim. Okay, guys.
Wolf driver.
Jaggy ready?
Everybody's good. Everybody got good.
Okay, come on, guys. Hike. Break off.
Good, that's all.
And just like that, we're back at it. So when we take breaks, we water the dogs, of course, and check out our scenery. I do some of my photo shoots, my infamous photos that are all over Flickr. I don't know, 27,000, I think was my last count. We've been doing this for 20-some years. The photos go back pretty far. I don't know if they go back to full when I first started, but they're pretty extensive library. And you can see a younger wolf driver. I actually really just enjoy the memories. obviously, everybody can't stay together forever, so we've got some really fond memories, whether it's the people most that have moved on out of the wolf driver realm, moved away, do different work, whatever, or the dogs. Most importantly, that's why I'm doing this. My dogs that have crossed Rainbow Bridge, and most recently Princess, and you can see lots of pictures of her all over. So just something brings a smile to my face when I think of all the times we do, and I look at all those pictures and videos and stories. We're forging ahead right now. We've got in better than 2 miles. I didn't get an exact mileage reading from my Fitbit, but I'm sure we're well over 2 miles. The schedule about 10 miles. We're never really sure exactly how much we're going to do because logistics. What I mean by that is, remember, we're dropped off by my wingman, Crispy. That's how we get here. And then Chris drops us off in one area, picks us up in another, so we don't double back. This keeps it more exciting for us and the dogs. And it allows us to possibly venture further. If we turn around and go back and have the same starting point, then we're limited to what we can do. But if everyone feels good, we could go all night, essentially. But we're going to keep this light. We're still in late summer. Actually, no, we're in early fall now. It is officially after the 21st, I believe, of September. I think we're like a week after. What's the date, Jimmy?
What's the day today?
Yeah.
27th.
Today's the 27th, so we're well past the first day of fall, autumn. But it's still, just keeping the temperature still on the warmer side per se, even though the sun's not out as long and the humidity isn't as high. It's still been a warm fall.
Wolf driver.
But it's certainly cool enough tonight. There's a mile marker, Jim. What do we start at?
26. We started at 106.5, I think.
So probably got about 3 miles in or so.
2.5.
2.5 to 3 miles. As I was saying, dog saw something to the right. Again, it could be just a reflection. It could be the scent of something. It could be the canal's next to us, and it's a dilapidated canal. It's not in use anymore. And it could be just ducks on the canal. The canal could be even dry, and an animal could be down there. Who knows? Possum, raccoon, porcupine too, skunk.
Wolf driver.
A lot of wildlife in these parts of the woods in our area of the country. Luckily, we don't have, of course, anything that's going to be really predatory towards us. There may be mountain cats. I think we've seen one in all our travels. But if they are in this area, they're very few and far between, and the possibility of them approaching 4 dogs and 2 adults is highly unlikely. That would be the only thing. Of course, there are bear, which we've seen. Bear usually, they run from you, unless they've got kids, so younger bear cubs, which we've run into also, but we just keep going. We don't play around.
Wolf driver.
A real quick story. Up in certain parts of the Alaska and other really cold climate areas where there's polar bears, people there would keep huskies because they resemble wolves, and a pack of wolves will hunt a polar bear. So polar bears would avoid the yards or the areas where the huskies would be. So it was kind of interesting to hear that. So you know that if you would have a problem, huskies would probably, a pack of them like this, would probably scare a black bear off. Black bear are the kind of bears that are in our neck of the woods. Luckily, we've encountered them some, but it's all been peaceful and everything's been good. Any questions, by the way? I know I mention a lot here, and you might be watching this on a Facebook quick clip. Or you might be watching, come on Chase, might be watching the whole video on YouTube, even Facebook. I post all these videos as well as snippets of them. But if you are, wherever you're watching this, you can always contact me. Again, Google's a great way. Just put Wolf Driver and it'll take you to my website or one of my websites. And there's always contact forms how to contact me. And Facebook is always a good way to message me or comment in a section. I
Wolf
read almost
driver.
all the comments. I can't always respond to them all, but I try my best. And I will get back to you in some way usually, but there might be, I understand people have questions, comments, concerns. Of course, I do get some hate mail. People think this is cruel, and I've explained it 20 billion times, but I understand people think differently. But this is something I kind of invented, but not the sport of running for dogs. They need to run. They're bred to pull. This is all in their arsenal. Picking up a little speed here. Something to our left, maybe, Jim? Zorro seems to be interested. Yeah, could be deer. Now to our left is probably the Potomac River, just like you saw us on the cliffs of it earlier in this video. If you did watch the video. So the Potomac River does parallel the C&O Trail.
Wolf driver.
I believe all the way through or close to it. So, but sometimes there's more land between it than others. It's not always right on the river, so between the land there's lots of deer and other animals. But as I was saying, I love telling about what I do and inspiring others and educating people that don't understand. And some people I know are stubborn. I can be stubborn about certain things, but we have to understand that Huskies are born to run, and they're bred to pull. Now, on this particular setup, they don't have to pull, and that's the genius of it. So I could run really any dog like this. In fact, I talked about earlier how my Chinese Crested, who's 15 pounds, can do this. But, that being said, they can pull. Sorry, getting a little message from my camera. So they can pull. And if they really want to commit, they can take me for a ride. That's why we're usually on what I call my dog-powered go-karts.
Wolf driver.
These custom bikes that I've been building or I've been designing and having built for me for the past 20 years or so are what I call dog-powered go-karts. And the dogs can really pull them, but the thing that wears out most are the brakes. Because I try to pace the dogs. Again, my eldest dog was Princess. Most recently, I've had a bunch of Huskies and I've been fortunate enough to have them live pretty long lives, 15 years old. And Princess was 15 also. There have been others before her that made it that old. Husky's a good breed, and even though the average lifespan is usually, I believe 12 to 14, they can live longer. But what happens is, as they get older, health ailments, just like all dogs, arthritis, whatever, stiff joints. And with Princess, mobility is the key. And with most creatures, even humans, mobility is the key. What you can do. So I would take her out just like you see me now, but we would go at a slower pace. And she would get her fill. And what we thought was enough for her, she would let us know. And we put her up in the specially designed seat for her. And then she could be part of the team still as we roll down the trail. As the puppy she ran with, something to my left, down on the water. Boats.
Wolf driver.
Yeah. They're a little eerie when you can't see it night. But, looks like a camping. Is that a boat, Jim? Pretty cool. Oh yeah, this is the campsite. Oh, howdy. Big campsite. A lot of people here. Beautiful Friday night. So it made it possible for Princess to still exercise and be part of every activity almost till the day she passed away. And she didn't pass away from any of this stuff. She passed away from a liver disease, cancerous liver disease. So unfortunately, but lived a good long life. Keep that in mind and enjoy all the memories of her we had. But so when she wasn't with the bike, as we slowed it down for her, we were able to pick up the pace and run it stronger. Now, when these guys were younger, we do 30 miles sometimes. We can still do 30 miles, but it would take us longer. Usually we're doing anywhere from 10 to 20. And again, I do plenty of activities, so these dogs are taught to run off leash too.
Wolf driver.
Couldn't do it here because of leash laws and because of the lay of the land, but I can do it anywhere that people own the land and let me. So what I do is I lease a few farms and run the dogs till their heart's content, basically, off leash. And I ride an electric ATV, and I say it's electric because there's no noise, and it virtually lets me communicate with the dogs and hear any farming equipment or any possible hazards to gather the dogs together so we can stay out of the farmers' ways and the helpers' areas that people that are working on their farm and their lands. Pretty cool stuff.
Wolf driver.
I do another prey-driven sport called Amazing Chase, and it's just beautiful. You gotta look that up on the internet. It's also known as lure coursing, but I'm doing it for huskies. Lure coursing's kind of for sight hounds because it's a game or a chase, if you will, and it's based on chasing a flag or a toy that they can see over a course that could be 5 miles long. That could be, 5 acres on a 5-acre lot, so it's pretty big, thousands of feet. And you got to see it to believe it. Getting ready to introduce a new kind of vehicle. Almost every kind of vehicle I've tried to attach the dogs to in some
Wolf
way
driver.
to see the most adventure we could have over the years, from what I still use now, a scooter, what I call a rough board. I've done a multitude of bikes, sleds, all kinds of stuff, but we've got a new one coming, which is actually called a swing car. It's kind of a hybrid car, and you got to see this to believe it. And I would look it up on the internet if you're watching this video. Swing car, SWINCAR. Okay, I see him to my left. My co-pilot Jimmy's telling me his camper's to the left. We're not that late. Sometimes we'll roll through camping areas at 3 in the morning, and not that we're loud, but
Wolf
we're
driver.
unusual, and so if people wake, they might become a little concerned if they see us. Obviously, when they realize what's going on, they'll be like, oh, that's cool, but just want to approach everything gingerly. So the swing car is made in France, and it's actually, consider it like a ATV bicycle. It has no pedals, it's fully electric, and it actually can go almost through any terrain because the actual arms are all independent. It's got 4 independent motors, 1 in each wheel, or hub as they call them. And it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I've been trying to get one for about 5 years now, and the company wanted to sell it to me because they had no dealers in the United States. They wanted me to become a dealer, and that's not part of my repertoire. I didn't want to do that. I could be a distributor. Big campfire, Jim. Beautiful.
Wolf driver.
Dogs sense it, picking up speed, looking at a campsite with the campfire. Oh yeah, I do too. Beautiful. Great time of year again. Just beautiful. So the swing car is a remarkable feat of engineering. And it's not made for dogs, but when Wolf Driver's done with it, it will be. I've actually talked to, well, let me step back. We've been trying to get it for about 5 years. And mile marker, Jim. That wasn't in my cards because the company is
Wolf driver.
really concerned about not being able to service it. If I brought it to the United States, they could ship it, but if there's no one here to service it because they didn't have a network of distributors and dealers, they wouldn't be able to service it if something happened, then basically I would be buying something that's not operable if it ever broke from me, which, everything needs some maintenance and things do break, so being realistic. And I kind of appreciated their concern and integrity. At the same time, I told them I'm willing to take a chance, but they would never let me get it. They were really set in their ways, and this piece of equipment is not cheap, but they weren't lured with the chance of a sale. They actually stuck to their guns and said, we're not going to sell it to you until we get a dealer network set up. And lo and behold, 5 years later, they have someone here in the United States, luckily relatively close by to me as the land goes, at least. He's in Alabama, I'm in Maryland. And we ordered one. And by waiting those 5 years, they developed the tandem model, which means two-seater. And just like my co-pilot you're looking at on the video now, that means I can bring someone with me. Now, we won't be able to run on the bike trails because it's probably not a trailer-proof vehicle, but we will be able to run on possibly mountain biking trails, and because mountain biking, more anything goes. Regular bike trails are a little more, rules apply a little more to them. So that probably wouldn't be approved for that. But what will happen is, we'll be able to get to trails that we couldn't go on with the dog-powered go-karts because they're not rugged, they're not built to traverse that kind of terrain. McCoy's Ferry, Jim. So, really interesting, and it's going to open up a lot of possibilities. That is actually really cool because, by the way, it's being shipped in by air cargo because to get an order together for what they need for a sea container was going to probably take a year and a little bit extra shipping, and they were willing to, believe it or not, a 500-pound vehicle air cargo ship it. And when I attach the dogs to it, the dogs aren't going to pull it at all, just like they are now. They don't have to pull it. It'd be heavy for them to pull 500 pounds. But you'd be surprised. Dogs can do a lot with a wheeled vehicle, especially on level ground. But we're going to be going through some, as I said, adverse terrain. So that's why it's really powered well to travel almost any land. I'll keep you posted on what we do with that. Look for those videos. That's going to be exciting stuff.
Wolf Driver.
And again, the company's interested in me because I'll be one of the only person trying to retrofit it for dogs, at this time at least. So on this trail, because you're riding next to the water, it's usually a little cooler, but I'm feeling some pockets of warmer air. Not too warm, but summer type air. And when we get in certain areas, we feel a lot cooler air. We're trucking right along, probably closing in on 4 miles now. Dogs are doing great. The views are spectacular, especially when we get some of those campsites with the campfire going and the smell of the wood burning, as well as the overlooks on the Potomac River and sometimes the canal. Even though it's dilapidated in a lot of areas, it can still be kind of exciting looking. During the day, it's really neat looking because a lot of turtles live in there. And if you come by here on a spring or summer day, you'll get a glimpse of tons of red-eared sliders and some snappers. I've got pictures again on Flickr that I remember we caught probably half a dozen or a dozen turtles on a log, on a tree that had fallen over into the river, into the canal. Pretty cool.
Wolf Driver.
How's Jimmy? Moving right along, aren't we, Jimmy?
Wolf Driver.
seen on this bike, but all the dogs run on all my bikes, dog power go-karts, if you will. All my dogs run in different positions. Usually Zorro and Chase are pretty much full out in front, but Jag will sometimes be in it back next to his wheel, or he'll, when he gets excited, get closer to Chase. And Lola's almost always up Zorro's butt. She's right into him. She's got the spunk and the youth to pull to her heart's content, so she's always stretching her line out. Kind of warm, isn't it, Jim? What's that? Still, is that why? What do you think the temperature is? 72?
Wolf Driver.
Yeah, it's going to be 89 tomorrow, so that's the type of fall we're having. Now we hear what we believe, I believe there's a train coming. Train? You think it's an airplane? Oh yeah, I think you're right. He said it could be Trump's airplane. And he's not kidding by that, because this is a pretty popular corridor where I think they restrict a lot of air traffic, so it's popular for political traffic. What I mean by that is
Wolf Driver.
Congress people, important people, president, vice president, etc. In fact, when President Obama was in office, we are almost sure we saw Marine One. Now, they usually have a couple of them, so you never know which one he's on. We saw one of them. We're not sure if it was his or they were testing it or what, but it's pretty cool. It came right down over the Potomac River again, which is to the left of me, as we were on a cold fall day. And it was during the day, and it's probably archived in one of my videos. Pretty cool. Just remember stuff like that. Because we don't see many other air traffic through here, so that's why I think it's restricted space. At least a lot of it, and that might be a little more towards DC. This trail goes right into Washington, DC. Mile marker 01 or whatever. It's right in, I believe it's Georgetown. So the first 10 miles or so, or 20 miles, and the Potomac goes, as I said, all the way up. They probably reserve it for secretaries of state, high-ranking state officials, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty wild, isn't it? Yeah, you picked them out, didn't you? Yeah, it's eerie, isn't it? A bunch of deer in the woods. And how we recognize a lot of wildlife at night, nocturnal animals that are out here, is you shine the light and their eyes will a lot of times fluoresce. Animals' eyes, and people too, I believe. So you'll be able to find their eyes that reflect. When they say they fluoresce, they reflect. And it's pretty cool. So you can pick them right up. You just shine over something. We've learned that. But it's kind of eerie when you see a bunch of eyes just staring at you. We've ran into coyotes like that, a pack of them on the Erie Canal. Speaking of Erie, that was a little bit, I'm going to say tense. Not that we were scared, but we were concerned. We were, of course, with the dogs. And the coyotes probably would not mess with us, mingle with us, but who knows? And when you're out in the wild, anything goes. So heads up baseball is what I call it. Just be on the alert. And my co-pilot at the time was Red. If you've been a Wolf Driver fan for long, you remember Red way back in the day. He wasn't my first co-pilot, but he was one of the first ones when I started doing these extended trips. And he was probably the third guy on board. I think Dave was first, and Dave and Jim. Jim's back with me now. But Rhett was an outdoorsman, and he picked up on it. He's like, go, go, go. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, that's a pack of coyotes. Boy, I really felt warm air there. So, and right after that, I just felt cool air. Interesting. Dogs are really moving well, and part of that is because they have had a good rest, moderate activity, not like we usually do. When I'm going at it, we're going 3 to 4 times a week on heavy activity load. But it's been a little quiet. It's been a warm summer too, so that's kind of good. But kind of good to, not getting too much activity. You really have to balance
Wolf
it.
driver.
Because warm weather is the enemy of the dogs. I call myself a wolf driver, and I'm the dog adventurer, and I've done more dog adventures than probably anybody in the world. Not that I've gone more miles. I've traveled probably more miles to adventure with my dogs than anybody, over 100,000 and counting. You can find all my adventures on my wolfdriver.com website. They're all numbered and labeled. Now, back in the day, I didn't always document them, so they're not all there, but there's a lot of them. From about 2001, I think.
Wolf driver.
No, 2003, I can't remember. A long time ago. Everything's great, Jim. Boy, we're knocking them off, aren't we? Hey, let's give him some water here, bud.
Wolf driver.
Easy, guys. Easy, ho. Good place to stop at a mile marker. Almost 5 miles, bud. She's happy. Now I've got 2 networks back here, so I do have a little bit of signal, actually. Yeah. It's not great, but I might have heard a hootie hoot. Yeah, might be now lurking in the area.
Wolf driver.
Any of them drinking a lot?
No, nobody's drinking a lot.
We just stopped, so. If he was hungry, he'd drink. Believe me, thirsty, he'd drink. It's cool, man. I like it. A beer, Jim? Don't serve him beer. Not on the trail. A deer. A deer beer. Good boy, Jay. Break off, Jim.
Great, break salt, very well.
Okay, here we go, guys. Come on, hike.
Wolf driver.
Just beautiful, Jim.
Yeah, good, good little 10-minute break. 15 minutes.
Yeah. Rocking and rolling. In case you didn't get a mileage reading, we're at that stop. We were at 4.62 miles. Feeling strong too. We're probably gonna shoot for 10. That's where we believe our pickup point is, and that's perfect for this time of year because we've been a little quiet. As I said, the activity level's been a little down this summer just because of scheduling and hotter days than normal with high humidity levels. So we haven't gone out as much as we had liked to. So I'm breaking them back into getting back into the groove gently. Always conditioning is a good thing.
Wolf driver.
I'm really pleased with the way they are. running though, and their activity level today, their stamina, I mean, it's always strong, but these dogs are getting older, and they put a lot of miles, we put a lot of miles on them, so, you know, they get their fill, and I like to keep them entertained.
Wolf driver.
It's really cool when I was taking a breather back there and walked behind the bike. If you might have seen me on the camera, but looking down the trail, it's so dark and it's hard to believe where we come from and what we're transversing through. Just the quiet and the dark and the night with almost no noise, but dog's paws hitting the ground. Now we hear the wheel rolling. Sometimes you'll hear a little bit of the electric motor. Electric motor's very quiet. So it's a real calming feeling back here. Even when the dogs pick up the pace and they're chasing something or in pursuit of a scent, it's still really almost surreal. Now when we're out here in the cooler times and the temperature's cold, the dogs are flying and the daylight shining upon us, it's a whole nother perspective. It's cool. The difference between the two is just awesome contrast. And that's another reason I use all these specialized cameras, so you can really see the beauty of the nighttime, especially because things look very similar, but when we get to cliff areas and areas along the river and the canal where it's really well defined, you can really get a sense of how awesome it is out here. And by the way, I was talking earlier, if you caught it in the video, of just putting pretty much anything in Google, Wolf Driver, music, movies, cameras, even headlamps. I've got probably every headlamp known to man I've tried, and got a new style I'm wearing now that's really cool also that I like. It's a complete kind of lines your forehead with LEDs, so it gives you a surround lighting. Now it's not as potent of a beam if you're looking into the woods, but you can totally see for working around you and what we're doing. I have strong headlights on or strong lights mounted to this bike, so this light on my head works really well to see myself and when I'm working on the dogs, harness, checking the calls, whatever. Kind of cool. And it's not too bright for the dogs. I can dim it and stuff. So again, if you have questions about anything, I can probably recommend it. If you're going to adventure, I mean, if you're going to get out on the trail. I'm not a kayaker or something in the water, but and I'm not an avid bike rider. This is my dog powered go-kart biking.
Wolf driver.
Now the dogs are looking up in the trees, and they're smart. Animals will climb the trees sometimes to avoid the dogs, possums, whatever. And one time we caught a whole family of possums. It was cool. It was me in a tree. I believe it was possums. Groundhogs climb trees too, but you're not going to see a groundhog at night, not usually. But I have a video of a groundhog in a tree. Whoa, whoa guys. Bike, the lights spun around. Because I loosened it, but no, just
Wolf driver.
yeah, try to figure it out. What the heck's happening? Yeah, maybe. Let me turn it off for a sec. Oh, it's this thing that
What did you do, break it though?
It just went around, I think, because this cup holder was in the way. You know, when I tried to move it before.
Wolf driver.
Get you around the other side and pull it off and put it back in. Looks like it went by the tire. It looks like the tire hit it.
Tire might have hit it.
Here's what happened to it.
We could cut that cup holder off. Cable tie, so we can. It's a hex key. Let me
I
see.
can you take it off?
Yeah, let's take it off. How's it come, Jim?
It's going to go backwards, I think.
If you don't mess with it, we'll just
Wolf
cable
driver.
tie it. Let's do that and cut this thing off. How the hell is this thing? Yep. Actually, we might be able to do this. Crazy, wasn't it, Jim? That's my big light. That light is actually, believe it or not, like a $400 headlight for the bike, and it's as bright as a car headlight, I believe. Excuse me, but you want to be careful with that because you don't want to shine at people's eyes, because if you have oncoming traffic, a bike rider
Wolf
coming
driver.
at us, it blinds them. So, and you don't want them running into you, so you have to be careful of that too. It does have different brightness levels, and it has an automatic dimming level, which is kind of cool too. God bless you. Depending on what mode you put it in. The battery lasts for,
Taking this off, Will?
yep, well over our trips. Probably get a half a day out of the battery, but not at full brightness. But you don't have to be at full brightness to get the light you need. Thanks, bud.
Hold that for me.
Wolf driver.
Good boy, Jaggy.
There we go.
Came off. Is that loose? That's a hex key. Do you have a hex key? Ooh.
Wolf driver.
I'm out, Bill.
Yep.
Put my glasses on.
You want a pair?
I got 'em.
Okay, buddy. This thing you want to keep straight. If we had a hex key set, that's the best. But okay, buddy. The trials and tribulations of wolf driving. Good boy, Mr. Jaggy. How you feeling, buddy? See how the dogs are nice and
Wolf driver.
calm and not too excited when we stop, because they learn patience now. You'll see if we stay here too long, Chase will be the first one to start whining. And of course, if anything would happen up ahead, if they pick up on a scent or get the glimpse of some movement up there, they'd be fired up. It'd be a little hard to keep them maintained. We don't want to discourage that excitement. At the same time, if we're fixing something, we have to sometimes dampen it somewhat. This is a minor problem. If worst comes to worst, we'll construct these lights to us. They're very versatile.
Wolf driver.
You need me to help, Jim? I don't know if you saw, I was taking a picture earlier. You could probably see me had squatted down. There's actually like the Batman logos on the bike. And this is just for fun. We did this to theme this bike, but that's why I call it the Bat Mushmobile. But it's got a bat, great, a bat symbol with red LED lights. Cool, man.
What'd you do with the piece we took out?
I threw it in the back.
We were stuck. We didn't get it back on.
Oh yeah,
Wolf driver.
yeah, it's tight too. How'd you tighten it, bud?
I used the end of the pliers as the wrench.
Cool. Yep.
It's right in there when I leaned it, I could tighten it up.
Cool, man.
You good with that?
I'm good, buddy. You good? Take your time.
Slight breakdown.
You ready? I turn the bike motor on. It goes off automatically after so many minutes of no use. Come on, guys. Hike. Here we go, Jim. So we're back on.
Wolf driver.
So I was saying, the bike light is kind of extreme. You won't find it in too many shops. It's actually a real high-end piece of bike equipment for people that bike at night, but it's over the top. And I get a lot of use. It really keeps us safe out here. You can see so far ahead. That's one of the reasons that you're getting all the pretty colors I was talking about with the camera that you're watching this through, because again, it's infrared, but it lets in all
Wolf
types
driver.
of lighting, including infrared lighting. So, whoa, there it goes again. I think so too. Must have. Yeah, cable tie will work perfectly. I got it back into place. So sometimes when we stop, like now, and you can see how much light it provides.
Wolf
because
driver.
you're looking right now where the camera is, which would be straight ahead, and the trail's dark because the light's not shining on it. You need me to move, Jim?
My light's getting dim, Billy.
Is it? You on the battery? Let me give it to you. Yep. Here, let me get out of your way so you can do that. I think it's not in a good position. The dogs may start complaining. Just stopped a couple times.
Wolf driver.
I like that. One or two times are okay for water and a quick picture, but you get in too much and they complain. Do you want me to put your headlight, or are you using it now?
Yeah, you can take it here, take it.
Yeah, your headlight's out, dude.
Yeah,
Oh, that's why we carry batteries.
Wolf driver.
We've never had a problem with these lights, have we? It's weird. Whenever you want, bud, it's right there. I just think we're not going to get it as tight without a hex wrench, and that's why it's probably. Yeah. Cable ties are your best friends.
Wolf driver.
You don't know what happens when the light turns around. You're like, what the hell was that? Luckily, these are pretty easy problems to have. Yeah, buddy. It's not like I'm hitting it.
Looks like it's swinging down.
It's probably okay. But yeah.
You gonna be alright with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright.
Yep.
Wolf driver.
I'll put another one on it. Let me put another one on it.
Okay.
One more time.
Just for fun, right?
One more time.
I think you got it about where it was before anyway.
What the hell is going on, Daddy? What are you doing, Daddy?
I don't think that's going anywhere, Jim.
Okay, bud, just give me a second.
Yeah, I mean, I think, don't you?
I think it's good now, bud.
Wolf driver.
It's tight. I don't know if it's perfectly lined up or not, but it's tight. That's gonna have to be good enough.
Gonna see enough.
You make it?
Yep. Oh, that's the same place it was before.
Yeah.
It's pretty close. It's just when it turns back on me. Yeah, man. That's an easy
I don't
fix.
think it's gonna turn back on you now. I got it
Yeah.
hooked in there pretty good now. Okay.
Tell me when you're ready, buddy. Gotta start the bike up. Here we go. Okay, come on, guys, hike. What's that,
Wolf
Jim?
driver.
Trying my headlight up a little.
Yeah, I can barely see it. Don't worry. I got plenty. I mean, if you want to for yourself, but I'm good to go. So our mileage been dilly-dallying around there because of the headlight problem, but we're at about 5 1/4 right now. Dogs are doing great. We're doing great. And everything's beautiful. Now you can see Jack's fully extended because that was a long rest. And he's like, I want to go, Dad. See, now you're getting that. Of course, the pinkish turns to purple, but I can tell the infrared is pretty hot right now. What happens is that battery drains on the infrared because that's a separate light source.
Wolf
If you can
driver.
imagine, it's a battery-powered light, and you can't really see it with your naked eye, so you can't tell it's getting low unless you cover it up, put your eye right next to it. So we're not doing that usually here. We're just kind of glancing over at it, and the only way to really tell is to look at the camera. And the camera is losing light, not real bright. That's usually a sign that your infrared's. So as that battery wears out, it goes lower and lower the light. It's just not on or off. It dies out slowly. So we're back in business here. We're running good. And what time do you think we're at, bud? Really? Boy, it's been a long day. What time do you think we'll be done? About 9:15 at night right now. Should be done 10:30. I mean, these dog trips, you can see we really started getting together around 11:30, 12 o'clock today. Now we're doing some other housekeeping, such as putting tags on these trailers, some of the new trailers I got, you saw earlier in the video maybe, or on my Facebook Live broadcast, and dealing with different
Wolf
areas
driver.
we keep the trailers, storage places, we've got a warehouse, etc. So it was a lot of work too. And but main goal was to get the dogs out, but when we're all together we can take care of the other issues we need to keep the wolf driver rolling. That was crazy, that car that spun out. You saw that, didn't you? But this is, like I said, a labor of love. And
Line as clear as it was, there wasn't no reason for that.
no, it wasn't at all. It was
Wolf driver.
what was a potential accident. Luckily, nobody got hurt. The car spun out on the highway. I don't know if they just lost control or hit something, but everybody was okay. And we had to slam on the new trailer brakes, and everything went really well. But always got to be alert. And again, I don't usually drive the truck because I want to rest up for the dogs. I need to be my best on the trail here because you never know what we're going to run into and how physical I've got to get. So I don't want to be tired to start with. Very important. And same reason my co-pilot with me doesn't drive, because I don't want him, doesn't drive the truck. I want him to be fresh with me too.
Wolf
You've seen
driver.
us out there. We get into some pretty physical situations. Another mile marker, Jimmy. What are we going to?
16 and a half to 16 and a quarter. Somewhere around 16.
So this is these dog trips. When we're streamlining and running in the winter, we're going at running much more efficient. So we're usually out the door 8:30. I think so. 8 or 8:30 in the morning, and home after dark because it gets dark early as you get into the late fall and winter, but still not in the wee morning like we will be probably tonight.
Wolf driver.
It was cool enough. We could have run during the day today with the dogs at a gentle pace, but we didn't make it out here that early. Coming up to a stop sign, Jim. That's a car. I just saw a car pass. That could be Crispy, you know that? Unless I'm just looking at the reflector. Oh, I saw a car. Well, this is where things are always eerie too. When you come to these road crossings and all of a sudden you got a car. Is that you, Crispy?
Wolf driver.
I don't know. That might be the DNR or something. Huh? No, it's the trail guy. Oop. Howdy. How you doing? No, we're doing good, thank you. Beautiful night out tonight. Entertaining the dogs. Entertaining the dogs. Thank you for checking, sir. Appreciate you too.
Wolf driver.
That's cool, man. That was cool, Jim, wasn't it? Watch your dogs. Jag good? Good. Come on. He was cool. Yep. See, they don't mind you being on here at night, Jim. They might. They told me at the place they did. They said, oh, that was a new guy. He didn't know who you were. We know who you are. You're fine. So that was a DNR park ranger. This is a federal park. So
Wolf driver.
I don't know if actually they're DNR or the federal ranger, but they monitor this trail, and they've told me I can ride here at night. I mean, they have camping, so it's no big deal, but he wasn't going to question that. He just to make sure we're okay, which is cool. You think so? Yeah, that was that might have been Fort Frederick, and then comes Big Pool, I think. Oh, is that the Fort Frederick?
Wolf driver.
That looks like water out there.
Yeah, it does. Usually don't see the park rangers this late, Jim. Yeah, we saw the campers. Yeah. Yeah, he asked us if we're okay. Yeah.
Wolf driver.
Yeah, that's for sure, buddy. That's for sure. So Jim's... What's that? Yo, okay. Just let me know, man. Jim, we think this might be big pool next to us. Now, when this canal was built, there were two huge pool reservoir type areas. One they call big pool, one they call little pool. Not too creative, I guess,
Wolf
but
driver.
actually I think you can go on Wiki and see pictures of it when it was dry, when they dug it. And I'm not sure all the history, if it was already partially a lake or something, but they're big areas. And they're a real wide mouth that the canal flows into and then flows out of. So they're cool. They're full of water today. You know, like some of this I was talking about, some of the canal is dilapidated, it's overgrown, there's no water in it at all, and then some of it, like big pool and little pool, are probably just like it was back in the day in the late 1700s, early 1800s. Oops, sorry buddy. Had to itch myself. Put my hand off the steering wheel. Steering wheel took itself for a ride. That's a thing when you get out of this dog power go-kart, if you will. If you don't have a brake on, and these don't have built-in parking brakes. One of the bikes I have does, and since then we weren't able to build one for some technological reason. But you need to use wheel chalk, so the dogs will pull it if they see something or it starts rolling. They just think it's time to go, even if I'm not in the driver's seat. So you gotta be careful of that. A lot of times across the trail, like I just saw, you'll see cobwebs or spider webs. Sometimes it's just one string, and that's how spiders trap their prey.
Wolf driver.
And, we get them stuck in us, and they're pretty sticky. Hopefully there's no spiders in there, because they'll be on us too. But you know, you got to check yourself out good after you come out of the woods for ticks and other animals, other insects, whatever. Especially the ticks, they can be problems. In the winter, of course, you don't have those issues around here because it's usually pretty cold and most of the insects are gone. There are some nasty tick-borne diseases, and the dogs I treat with something called Brevecta, which is a 3-month treatment, and it's a preventative for fleas and ticks.
Wolf driver.
It's pretty remarkable. Now, it goes for 3 months, but Princess, who you might remember, was a husky I just lost recently, pretty much to old age. She was 15 plus. She got a couple tick-borne diseases. One before I rescued her, one before I got her, and we detected it in her blood. We could see. We knew she was exposed to Lyme's disease somewhere in her life. She didn't have it currently at the time, but she'd had it. It stays, apparently it stays in your bloodstream, remnants of it for many years. But she did actually contract another tick-borne disease. Can't remember the name, and that was even being on the Brevecta, because there's one tick like Rocky Mountain or one of the spotted ticks that it only defends against for 2 months. So the vet was saying if I wanted to, I could give it to her every 2 months to get all the dogs, but then it becomes really costly, and I don't want to over medicate or over prevent, give too many drugs. So he did say that was a fluke thing. It didn't affect her at all. We gave some of the antibiotic that they treat them with, and she really never had any symptoms of it. It was just in her blood. But the groomer always tells me how they find dead ticks falling off the dogs, and that's from them actually biting the dogs or from the Bravecta protecting the dogs. So it is pretty
Wolf
good. I
driver.
used to treat them with Frontline, and I think everybody uses Frontline, and I think some way if they see something, I don't know, up a tree.
He said, this is where my location is, so I can't make that to help there.
Okay. Well, he should be able to see us. So I think Frontline, because so many people use it, it's become, a lot of the ticks in the area have become resistant to it. So I've used it for many years. And the thing about Frontline is you got to put it in their fur, and the Huskies have, especially my
Wolf
Huskies, because
driver.
they're long-haired double-coated dogs, but all Huskies are double-coated. So that getting to the skin is really hard because it's an application that you apply to the skin. The Bravecta's nice, and there are other ones that are tablets that they chew on. It's flavored for them to like, and they just take it and it goes down. But the Frontline, I thought, was becoming less and less effective towards the end when I was using it. And that's why I switched to a monthly preventative that was a chew, and then graduated to this Bravecta. I'll also give them something called Interceptor, which is a heart guard. I think some does mosquito larvae or something, but
Wolf
it's also a
driver.
heart guard. You don't think of these things all the time. A lot of people just, because you go to the vet every 6 months or every year to get your dog checked up, and you're like, oh, you tested hopefully negative for heartworm, and then you got to keep giving them heart guard monthly, or the dog can actually get heartworm, and heartworm is a nasty disease. So you want to keep them. That's a monthly preventative treatment. That again is in form of a chewable chew, whatever you want to call it. I think we got a mile marker here, Jimmy.
Wolf driver.
So my regiment consists of a monthly Interceptor, which again is a heart guard, and mosquito larvae, whatever they say, preventative. And then every 3 months I give the Bravecta, because that does last for 3 months. And usually just pick a date that around the 15th
Wolf
is when I
driver.
do it. The 15th of every month. And I never give on the 3 months when I give the Bravecta. I don't give the Bravecta the same day. I give the Interceptor just in case they would have a bad reaction to one of them. I would know which one it is. Even though they never have, you just never know, as they age or whatever. So that's the Wolf Driver's regiment. And it gets costly. But of course, dogs are, my family. I always take care of them even before I take care of myself. Like my children that I don't have. I got fur children.
Wolf driver.
I do actually have a stepdaughter and a niece that we raised, and a lot of nieces and nephews, fortunately, that I love dearly. Let me add, okay, if you're listening, I have to name them all. I'm afraid to do that. I might forget someone, but there's Harley, there's Lisa, there's Raina, there's Shelby, there's Brooke, there's Ryan, there's Jonathan, there's Tanya, my stepdaughter, and I think that rounds out the nieces and nephews. If I forgot somebody, I'm sorry. I love them all. And Raina kind of grew up with me, so she's been exposed to the dog-powered lifestyle, the Wolf Driver lifestyle. And she loves dogs. Hopefully I had something to do with that. She'll be visiting us on Thanksgiving this year. This is 2019,
Wolf
in case
driver.
you're watching this 10 years from the future, in the future, where I am. And again, I'll reiterate the date's about the 27th or so of September. So usually Thanksgiving in our neck of the woods is, we're in Maryland again. It's usually pretty cold. I remember some really cold Thanksgivings. I think last year even was, I don't know, 20 degrees. But good time to take the dogs out, and it's exciting because it's getting the Christmas feel. I don't celebrate Christmas, but I love it because everybody's happy usually that time of year, and I have a lot of friends that do celebrate
Wolf
Christmas, so
driver.
it's a wonderful time. And I don't celebrate it because I'm Jewish, so that's why. But not that I have anything against it. It's all great, but it's just a festive time of year, and Hanukkah's usually around Christmas time too. But that you get that warm, cozy feeling, and it's great because you need that warm, cozy feeling when you're out running the dogs.
Wolf
How's
driver.
Jimmy? It's got to be big pool, buddy. Or little pool, I don't know. Yeah, I think going in this direction. By the way, I'm not using barely any motor. And technically speaking, we're running uphill because we try to run most of the time the trails have a direction. One's usually uphill, one's downhill, even though a lot of these trails are pretty even, pretty level. Still, as the land travels, it's usually up or downhill, and this would be considered uphill. But the dogs are
Wolf
really
driver.
feeling good, and the weather's agreeing with them, so it's not taking much motor to run them. And I can pedal too, but I usually choose to use the throttle. Maybe I'm lazy, I don't know. But it's all good. This bike is a little awkward, this dog power go-kart, to pedal because I'm a little reclined too much. I don't know if we can adjust the seat. I never looked at it. A lot of them are adjustable. But it's a little harder to pedal in this one, so that's why I'm less likely to pedal in this model.
Wolf driver.
So you can see, if you've been watching the video, there's a lot of ground in between pickup points here. Sometimes you could even go 10 miles, I believe, on this trail and not even have access. So you want to make sure, a little bit of a bump here, you want to make sure you have the equipment working as good as possible, otherwise you might be walking quite a ways. And when you add dogs to that equation, that can complicate things. That's why I wear the orange vest that you typically see me in. My whole wolf driving career, at least most of it, so I can attach all the dogs to it and walk comfortably with them. Now they are trained off leash, depending on the area. I have broken down before and had to walk a few miles and just left them off leash and they just stick with me. But with the nighttime and campers and everything, if that unfortunate situation arises, then I would attach them to me and just walk them out of here. There are other options sometimes. We can try to find the park ranger if there's one around. Crispy will drive back on the trail if we just needed to. Because, of course, you're not supposed to drive on the trail, but if it's a emergency, we can do it. We have done it.
Wolf driver.
I happen to have those spider webs stuck on me I was talking about. It's a gooey feeling. They're like a lint. They stick to you. The lighted harnesses you see on the dogs are really nice. because you can kind of just look back and see them. Sometimes we use lighted collars too.
Wolf driver. Wolf driver.
I was feeling some bugs around me. I turned my headlight off. They're attracted to it. It's still time of year where we're still having little insects and gnats and everything, which are a nuisance. And they can really gather around the dogs. And sometimes they're attracted to the color of the dog. I've noticed sometimes, like Zorro, he's a darker husky. Now Lola I have, but when I had the 3 white huskies and Zorro, I noticed that they were attracted to him, these flies, one day. They were just all over him. Trying to see if he had a certain odor to him, or if it was his color, or where he was running, because we were all in the dog cart, but interesting. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Doing good.
Excellent.
Working away out.
We are, man. How's the bike seem to you, bud?
Running good, man. Take a little bit of noise back in the track wheel, but
You think that's a bearing?
I don't know what it is. It sounds like a spoke.
Wolf driver.
Really?
Other than that, it's been doing a lot better back there with this thing since we moved.
Yeah, that was cool. We went through them spider webs. I got them all over me. Yeah.
That's good. Be careful and catch
Yeah, I know. I got them all for you. Come on, guys. Yeah. You seeing anything? So did she. For
Wolf
these
driver.
guys' nose on the ground, Zorro. All right, he lifted up. It might have been something that crossed the line. There could be porcupines out here. In this area, I haven't run into them as much, but I have on some trails. And they can't really shoot their quills, but if the dog would catch up to them and run into them, that could be a problem. Yeah, let's get some pictures, bud, and let you water them. Is that cool? Smells a little bad.
Well, I got them spider. No wonder we got spider webs all over.
Do we?
Wolf
Oh,
driver.
guys. Let's give him a little water, Jimmy. I'll get some pictures if you don't. They're all over me. Gosh. Are they?
Look at them on here.
Wow. Man. Chris is texting us. He's saying, here's a glimpse of where I am.
Wolf driver.
I still smell like the coal that the trail used to ride in here, the train. That's cool, man. It's amazing, this camera. Canal's dry down there. Yep. There's a little bit, but it ain't much.
Wolf driver.
That's a dog. They didn't respond to it. Hope that ain't on the trail. Yeah, it sounds like it's going. I don't know. It does?
Wolf driver.
It probably senses us. Everybody drank, Jim? Cool. Dog stopped barking, didn't it? Yeah, man. Come on, guys, hike.
Wolf driver.
Hey, they're
Wolf
on the
driver.
trail or something. You see it, Jim? So we're back at it, folks. We checked in at 7. No, I didn't either. I think we got 7 3/4 miles, Jim. Is that possible? Yep. So we're working on 10 miles and we're almost there. We're 3/4 of the way there. Dogs are doing great. The weather's been cooperating really nice. Some spots are a little warm, but right now it just cooled off tremendously where we're at. I mean, I just feeling cold pockets of air. I'm wearing short sleeves, so I can tell from my bare arms.
Wolf driver.
Something over there? No? They're kicking it up, aren't they, Jim? Look. Speed is really happening. The dogs are. Yeah. Could be. The Jag does.
Wolf driver.
I was referring to earlier, some people, I get plenty of hate mail because, again, people think this is cruel. They don't understand. First of all, they don't understand the Huskies, they don't have to pull, and a lot of times they're not. But, you know, it's just like, if you went to, this is my favorite comparison, if you were from another world and you came to Earth and you saw people at a gym walking on a treadmill, you'd be like, that's so cruel. Why are they doing that? Cruel, not cool, cruel. Why are they doing that? They're not getting anywhere. So a lot of times, that would look cruel to somebody that didn't know. And people walking on a treadmill, why are they walking? They're not getting anywhere. It's going in a circle. It's a cycle. What's going on? Great. Look at him. He's looking good, isn't he? Yeah. Sometimes Jag's paws, because he's shorter, they can take a little bit more of a beating hitting the ground if we go at a faster pace, because his stride isn't as long as the other dog. So sometimes I might put booties on him. Sometimes I'll put Mush Your Secret. But I try to let him run when conditions are good without anything, so he builds more callus up. But we also found that, and not knowing this, because all dogs are different, that
Wolf driver.
the groomer was trimming the hair between his pads, and that was really providing him a lot of protection. What's that? Yeah, across, that might be where I heard the dog from. So the hair was protecting his pads, and it took a little while to figure it out, but we finally did, because he was getting it cut. He goes to getting the haircut between the groomer was doing that so it doesn't get too long, and then when they're on the slippery floor, the hair takes over underneath the pad that grips, and it actually causes them to slip. So there's a fine line there, but the actual hair was, or trimming it, the groomer was creating the problem. So once we figured that out, she stopped trimming the hair down so much. Now the other dogs it doesn't affect. It affects all dogs differently. Part of it again is because Jag has got shorter legs, and the way he bounces when he runs, because he doesn't have that long stride. He's trying to keep up with the guys and with the other dogs, and that's why I tell you when I'm wolf driving, when I'm driving, I'm trying to kind of balance their speeds so nobody's too fast and Jag's not running too hard. And Lola is not. Also, she's learned now, but in the beginning when we were teaching her, we don't want to outrun her either. Now it would be impossible to outrun her because she's in such great shape and she's confident in herself. Something here, Jim. See the sign to my left? Oh, yeah. I think this is where Chris was talking.
We can always come back here.
Okay, come on, guys.
Looks like it's an access there. Looks like it goes to the street.
I'm pretty.
I think,
Keep going.
yeah, I'll keep going.
Come on, guys. You don't see Chris, correct?
I don't know where he was. According to what I seen on the thing, he was near the camp station.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wolf driver.
Lick.
Yeah, I'm losing batteries.
Are you? On your phone? Don't worry, I got plenty. Licking Creek. So, okay. So Jag's bottom line is Jag pads got to pay a little closer attention to. But obviously we would never put them in danger, and there has never been a health issue with it. Just sometimes they'll peel, if you will, and that will cause them, just like a blister on a person's hand or foot or wherever, and it'll cause them to limp for a day or two. So you gotta always watch for that. And also, if dogs ever travel too fast, that can wear their nails differently, and the groomer can usually notice that, or under a watchful eye by someone like myself, you can see how the nails are worn. If we're going too quick for the dog, it wears the nails a different way than if the dog's actually digging in. So there's a lot of science behind everything that you learn when you run dogs. But again, the hate mail does come in about people being upset that I do this. Why they're upset, again, I have no idea. But the reason for them to be upset is if I didn't do this and I had these dogs at home and didn't let them really get the proper exercise they need, that would be a big problem. And I would feel that problem because they would be Just like now, even though we hadn't run in a while and they start feeling the cool weather, they want to sow their wild oats some more. They don't get a chance to. They can wreak some havoc at home. People who usually don't have huskies or have never had them don't understand, and I try to educate them. But it's not always possible, so you can't let that frustrate you. You just got to understand there's going to be a difference of opinion, and we can agree to disagree and everybody make nice. Usually people that have huskies, though, understand that they're really high strung and high energy, and they don't, a lot of times, if they're not yet real dog people, they don't understand the prey drive aspect of them.
Wolf driver.
But they know they got to do something to curb some of that energy, and usually a game of fetch isn't going to work because a husky's not as entertained chasing a ball like a lab or another breed. They might get it once or twice, but it ain't going to give them any exercise. They're going to get tired of doing it before they actually get any real exercise from it. Most huskies. Not saying there's not exceptions out there. In fact, Princess would play fetch with me for a little while, and as she was older, it did help her mobility. It excited her enough to get her some exercise and give her a little bit of entertainment.
Wolf driver.
This bike's cool because it lights up underneath it too, and you can really see the dogs well. You can't say I haven't got my money out of these bikes, Jim. I mean, I've run them for years. We were building a bike once a year for a while, and I think last year we built a new bike. This Bat Mushmobile is the newest one in the fleet, and there are some that are retired. And that's my Wolf Driver studio. You can see some of those bikes. Interesting how far we've come. I'm proud of us and all my circle of Wolf Driver engineer friends, whatever. Quite a story, and I enjoy talking about it again. Part of it is inspiring people to chase their dreams, and also to get some symmetry, some harmony with nature, without having to become too physical. Some people are limited mobility-wise, and some people work all day and don't have the energy to run their dogs like this. But if you can make it a relaxing event where you can enjoy it and your dogs can get some exercise, how cool is that? That's basically what I try to do. This part of the trail is pretty remote, and I see something on the side. Once in a while you might see an animal that's dead, whether it's a squirrel or we've seen raccoons, possums, sometimes from hunters, sometimes they might have gotten hit on the road and they stumble over to here. So I want to be careful at night so the dogs don't come across that. So I don't want them to get involved with it, if you know what I'm saying.
Wolf driver.
You never know what you're going to see on the trail. That's part of the adventure and the excitement. If I would have known we were going to be out here at night today, I would have brought my paranormal equipment. That's always fun.
Wolf driver. I was talking about my headlight earlier, and you saw we had some issues where it
loosened up on us, but it tells you how much battery's left in it. And I'm just checking that I can lower the intensity level and make it last longer. 15, Jim? In addition, I have a couple of these lights. Usually carry a spare one with us. What's that?
About a mile and 40.
A mile and a quarter?
Driver.
That would be exactly 10 miles. So we got 8.77 now, just crossed the 115 mile mark. But in case you ever want to check us out, I mean, we wouldn't be there, but you go Google satellite images and see where we're at on the trail, where we're crossing. It's kind of cool. But looks like we've got about a mile and a quarter left till we meet our wingman, Chris B, in the truck and trailer, pack up the dogs and the bikes, and head on out, get some dinner, and head on home. Now, no matter what time it is, when we get home, I feed the dogs. I never feed them before we go because I just don't want them running with a full stomach. I mean, technically speaking, they say an hour before and an hour after you can
Wolf
feed them
driver.
of any before any exercise and after any exercise. But I like to give a bigger window. I only feed them once a day. That's been my method for success. They seem to do really well that way. When they're puppies, of course, you feed them more. But when they're done growing, once a day seems to work fine. Sometimes in the wild, their ancestors would fast, maybe a day a week or so, and I used to do that for my other huskies when I used to actually make their own food. I would feed them the barf diet, bones and raw foods, and I would fast them once a week. And it seemed to work well, but now I buy a more commercially available barf. Sometimes I use something by Primal. I usually go on some of the websites and try to read independent reviews of what the best foods are and see how they agree with my dogs. I've been using the barf diet for years, though, the commercially available one. And I order it directly from them, and it ships to my door. It's quite a lot of food. Whoa. Believe it or not, to feed these dogs is $800 or so a month. That's how much frozen food they eat. It is always frozen. I give it to them frozen. Again, Northern Breed dog has the ability to eat frozen food, and I feed it year-round frozen. It seems to work great. Had success doing that, so I stick to it. Actually, I asked my vet at one point, what do you think about it? He says, I think it's fine. Just making sure they're getting the same nutrition as if I thawed it and gave it to him. And he felt it was fine from the health of the dogs. It seemed to agree with all my dogs throughout their lives, so that's what I do. It makes it easier, and I think they enjoy it more because they're naturally hot dogs. We don't live in climates anywhere that are remotely to what they're built for, so the cold food is, I think, kind of refreshing to them.
Wolf driver.
So probably within the next mile we'll be coming up on Chris P, and we're gonna exit the trail at that point. Again, because of the dark of night, can't really tell how far the canal, or what the condition of the canal is next to it, and where exactly the river is in relation to us. We know it's on the left side, but don't know how far out. Sometimes there's land, pretty big masses of land, farms or whatever, and then the river, and sometimes you're right on the edge of the river.
Wolf driver.
So tomorrow the dogs it's going to be warm, they'll want to be inside in the air, and they'll probably sleep most of the day. So I anticipate we'll get home somewhere in the 2 o'clock range in the morning. So usually they'll be wound up when we get home, believe it or not. They'll get real excited because they're going to get their food. They're going to get their dinner. Hello, Zara. He's dropping back a little bit because he's sniffing. Sometimes it's because he's gonna do a bathroom break, and sometimes might be because he's tired.
Wolf driver.
He's sniffing. Have to be alert to that as we wolf drive. But we get home tonight about 2 in the morning. I'll feed the dogs, and they'll probably sleep till probably about 10 in the morning. And then tomorrow, once they get up, they'll lay around most. What's that? Did it stop? Yeah, it probably ran out of juice.
Wolf driver.
That's cool. No worries. Thank you. Yeah, it just happened because I had been watching. So, yep, our camera's giving us one view now. But you're looking at Chase over me, and I can get it back working by switching it out. But don't know if it's worth it. Just a mile left. Woo!
Wolf driver.
What a great night. So I'm really excited for the new swing car. Again, that's going to be my latest wolf driver vehicle. It's, as I explained, we usually get one every year. The Batmobile, which we're riding now, was last year. So this year we ventured off. This is more of a ATV, but
Wolf
not
driver.
quite. It's a hybrid car, ATV, bike, everything combined together. It should be very interesting for the dogs. Of course, no one's ever attached dogs to it like I'm going to, but that's what Wolf Driver does.
Wolf driver.
How's Jimmy?
Good, buddy. Doing good. That's Chris.
Did it?
Hello? One of my friends here, good. Yep, they can.
Dogs are just doing absolutely fantastic. You know, it pretty much brings tears to my eye to see them as happy as they are, doing what they love, and mingling with nature like this.
Chris says,
Wolf driver.
field of where he's at.
Okay?
The best way to bring the dogs and the bike up is bring the dogs up by leash and then bring the bike up.
Really?
I'm just telling you what he said.
Okay. Sounds like a pretty precarious situation. So Chris just giving us a message that he's where he's at. It's a little tricky and might be best to leash the dogs up, which would mean they'd be on my vest, or I'll walk a couple and Jim will walk a couple and then bring the bike up. The boys will bring it up. So he is the event planner. He probably has a little course for us mapped out. We'll see when we get there. Just a beautiful night.
Wolf driver.
Now, as you can see, the camera's not turning now because the battery ran out, but I don't want to, I can get up and fix it, but I don't want to break the dog's stride. We're in a good rhythm here and we don't have that far to go, so I don't want to break the stride. If we stop for a water break or we have to stop to address something, that's when I'll change it, but not just to do that. Sometimes I will, but towards the end of the run, where they're getting a little tired. I mean, they're not really showing it, but it's been a good run, and it's a good way to start conditioning. I don't want to break their momentum of their stride.
Wolf driver.
Now the air has really gotten cool. I mean, I'm feeling it. It's great, too. This I would classify as a fall night, early fall night, which it is. So it feels seasonable. Again, tomorrow high's about 89. That will not be seasonable. And the dogs will be happy they got their run in today and they can be inside the cool home tomorrow. Or we live in the woods, so it'll be nice and shaded for them. It always is. It stays probably 5 degrees cooler where we're at, and they always have access to water, a pool. They have a pool there, and always drinking water.
Wolf driver.
So they might choose to be outside, lounge around. I leave it up to them. The new trailer's helping the bikes, isn't it, Jim? The new trailer's helping the bikes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's much easier to move around. Maybe you find it down further.
Yeah.
I don't know if them big straps help, but they still keep tight down there. Big straps.
Even in the trailer?
No, we ain't been using them big straps.
Yeah. Something up here, Jim?
Wolf driver.
They're feeling it. They're going.
This may be where it came from. This is 16. It used to be in Licking Creek before we went up here. Here's the Alley House. Maybe the
Licking Creek. Oh, if this is where I think it is, this is a pain in the... Yep. It's going to be coming up on our right, buddy. Right about... No, oh, I think I was supposed to go down there.
That could be right. You could be right. Yeah, maybe you're right. Looks like kind of narrow up there.
Yeah.
You gotta back up.
Okay, guys. Back up.
Back up.
Map says 0.6 of a mile, and then you'll see a sign on the trail that says Tuxedo Trail North. That's where we're going up to the trail.
10-4. Okay, Jim, so...
I put 2 leashes on the sign. It's going to be the best way is to walk the dogs up to the truck and then just bring the bike up by itself.
10-4. Okay, bud, let me try to back up. Can you see behind us? Okay, come on, guys. Hike. Backwards. Back up. Back up. Good boys. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Okay. Forward. Hike. Might need brake, Jim. You got the brake? Cool.
Wolf driver.
Easy, guys. Going through a canal. An old canal. Now, folks, looks like we got about... Looks like we got about a half a mile to go, according to our wingman, Chris P. The boys. Cool. Whoa, canal. So as I understand it, the water used to flow through here. This probably wasn't broken. Yeah, this is the water. Okay, come on guys, hike. Yep. Come on, hike. Hike, hike, hike. Come on
Wolf
guys,
driver.
hike. Whoop. Jeez. Chain broker. Came off. I got it. I can't. I can pull it. Let me.
Let's get slow, John.
Okay.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Back on, hang on. Keep going. Okay. The chain's back there.
Good boys. Good boys.
Stay to your left.
Wolf driver.
Good boys. Whoop.
Okay, I think we're ready to go.
Okay. Oh gosh.
When you put that in gear, just do it without me first.
Okay.
Easy now.
Come on, guys.
Easy. Go ahead.
Good?
Yep.
Hop on in, buddy. All you got to do is hop in. No, Chase. He thinks he sees something up here. Chase, stop.
Wolf driver.
As soon as I can.
That's fine, buddy. Don't kill yourself.
I gotta weave through the dogs here.
Yep. All right, Chase, relax. Everything's good, buddy.
Okay, nice and slow.
You ready?
Yep.
Come on, guys. They're pulling us, bud.
Wolf driver.
Yep.
You good?
I'm great. You good?
Back in business. Back in business, Billy.
That hill was a little tough for it, huh? I think this chain's a little loose. That's the only reason. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Wolf driver.
Ain't that the truth, buddy?
Wolf driver.
Are you? They think something's up here, Jim. You watching? Something smells dead. That's probably what they smell.
Wolf driver.
think I remember doing this before.
Do you?
Pushing this up the hill. It was a pain in the ass. Not too far to the right, but
Wolf driver.
I think my battery's out in my watch too. I got battery issues, but they're looking over. Fascinated over there.
Wolf driver.
take that camera at the top and we take it up the hill.
Yeah.
Maybe a good idea, just for safety.
This might be something here, Jim. Yeah. He said he was going to put the dog leashes. Dog leashes? That's
Wolf
it.
driver.
Okay, I remember doing this before, you remember?
I don't remember this one. There he is.
Take it two at a time, I guess.
Well, you can take two, I can take two, but... Chris B. We're here, man.
Just take two.
Okay.
Okay, I guess somebody stay with the bike.
You'll stay here, Jim?
Two, let's walk the dog up.
You can stay up there and I'll walk dogs and Jim will stay here.
You got them two leashes right there if you want them, but
I don't need them. I'm going to
Wolf
do this.
driver.
This is
just take your time, man.
my main thing is her. Actually, I'll probably take that too. Water in the truck. We'll just have to do that after.
We'll do it. Put them in the truck and we'll do it afterwards. It's no big deal.
When did we water them last?
About 14,
And what are we at now?
16, 2 or 16.5.
Okay. Let's give him. You want to give him a little water?
If that's what you want, buddy.
Wolf driver.
I don't think you're going to drink much.
Just to make sure. And I'm going to take her with me too.
Whatever you want to do.
I'll just leave Jag with you. I'll leave the ground. No, she'll be fine. I'm gonna leave the grouch with you. Two grouches. So, folks, that's gonna conclude this broadcast. Hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna walk the dogs as you see up to the top. It's gonna be awesome. Have a great evening. What a great run. Officially 10 miles, and we're stopping here at what looks like Tuscarora Trail North, whatever the hell that means. So we are on the C&O still. Thanks so much. Wolf Driver
Wolf
signing off.
driver.